Howdy. So, this is my first YouTube video. I don't really know what this channel is going to be entirely about, but I kind of just want to start sharing things, and specifically my car, I suppose, because it's new to me and I really like it, and I'd like to share it with more of the world. So, yeah. This is my 1994 BMW e34. It's a 530i V8 5-speed. It's a little rough around the edges, but I love it. It's Calypso red. Some fading sun paint, some sun fading paint. That's how you say that. And little scratches around, a little rough around the edges. That's okay. But she's something. That's what she is. Got the OG BBSs. They are not the stock tires that came on this car. These are 16-inch by 7.5 rims, I believe. So they sit really, really wide on this thing. And a little bit close to the shock towers on the inside there, but kind of hard to see. But wheels, sexy as all hell. And front's got new tires, back doesn't. Front had blown tires when I bought it. But, $500 and $180 worth of tires so far. Crankshaft position sensor is what ended up being the problem as far as the crank no start. So when the guy sold it to me, he thought that it was a fuel pump. Dude bought it, or not bought it, but got it from his uncle. God, I'd say a few years ago, and sounded like it was running for a little while, and then started having issues, and let it sit for a while, and couldn't figure out what he wanted to do with it. And then he decided to list it because I guess he had to fix his other car. And whenever I saw the original listing, it was at $800, and like I couldn't just let that go. So I texted the guy up and told me a little bit about the car, sent me pictures of the interior and stuff because he didn't have any on the listing, and I was pretty damn interested. He had a title, he had a bill of sale, so got to talking with him, and he went to go start the car up, wouldn't start. He himself thought it was a fuel pump, and decided to drop the price because of that. And so told him, look, if you're gonna drop this thing down to $400, I'll pay you $500, and I'll be there the next day with a trailer and new tires to get this thing out of your yard. And he was like, all right, bro, come pick it up. So we've got her. She's here. She's home. Again, $500 for the car itself, $180 for the tires. Crankshaft sensor cost me, that's the old one right there. Crankshaft sensor cost me $19 off of A Premium. I know a lot of people will tell you, go genuine BMW, genuine parts, especially on crankshaft position sensors, which I definitely should have, but I was trying to just make this thing run. And after about 2 weeks of diagnosing and troubleshooting and trying to figure out what the hell was going on, because the fuel pump was actuating. If I gave it power itself, it would turn on. I mean, it was pumping fuel. There was beautiful fuel pressure coming out of the line on the front, inside the engine bay, but it just did not want to start. So tested for spark. Obviously that wasn't happening. And then this was kind of my my real introduction to working on cars. I have a 2002 Dodge Durango that I put money into it, and I work on it whenever I need to / want to. I do the oil changes, brakes, whatever. But this was definitely my first introduction to something a little bit more advanced, and to getting a car that wasn't running. So it's been really cool. It's been a learning experience. And I did at one point think that the fuel pump relay was bad, and didn't really test properly to make sure that was actually the case. So I did buy a new fuel pump relay. That cost me another like $20 or something, but nothing crazy, man. I mean, at the end of the day, $500 for the car. We'll say $180 or so for the tires, plus the $20 for the crank sensor, $20 for the fuel pump relay. That puts us at, what is it, $720, and then you account for the gas it cost me to go pick it up and the trailer rental, say $850. But I mean, you know, 1994, 30-year-old running, driving, fucking V8. Are you kidding me, man? Like, it could have been, this guy could have been selling, he could have been selling a 520. He could have been selling 520i. He could have been selling, or sorry, not 520i, 525. Like, so many of the different inline 6 engines. He could have been selling an inline 4. Like, there's so many different things. And granted, yes, there is the bigger excuse me, 540 with the M60 B40. This only has the B30, but you know, 3.0 small displacement V8 engine. Like, this thing, it just roars, and my God, does it pull. Like, I mean, you know, again, my biggest experience with a car that has any sort of beans is a 2002 Dodge Durango. So like, that thing weighs 5,500 pounds, 6,000 pounds, damn near. Not to mention, it's my work vehicle, so it's loaded down with all manner of tools. And yeah, it gets tiring being around and all that all the time. Like, I don't know, it's different. It's very different. So being in a car that has, well, brand new 220-ish wheel horsepower, and I think it's somewhere around 220 foot-pounds of torque. So say 30 years old, a horsepower per year, we're sitting somewhere around 185, 190. You know, in theory, it's probably got a little bit less than that, maybe a little bit more, who's to say exactly, but it rips. It freaking rips, man. Like, oh my God. I went for a drive with my cousin actually last night. We went to a place about an hour away from us. Well, normally it's about an hour away from us. We got there about 35. But yeah, it's just, I mean, you're pulling through the canyons, man. I mean, she just takes it uphill. Like, it's ridiculous. And like, again, it could have been an inline 6 engine. It could have been like an inline 4, which I'm pretty sure they did put in these cars. I could be wrong about that. If this is probably going to YouTube, that's my intention with this. But if I'm wrong about that and somebody wants to inform me, please do. But I believe that the e34's chassis came with an inline 4 in them. Anyways, so yes, 1994 e34 Calypso. That's pretty much a majority of the stuff on the outside. Let's take a quick look around the interior, and then we'll take a look on the underneath the hood. Check underneath the bonnet. So we've got the tan interior, and again, $500 car. I'm not really that pressed about the cosmetic wear and tear, if you know what I mean. Like, I plan on having this car for quite a long time, and because of that, I plan on putting money into it and you know, making it something decent in what it is. I mean, like, there's a crack in the, you know, hubcap there, but at the end of the day, it's got all 4 hubcaps, and that's pretty huge. Plus, it's a 5-star bolt pattern, and I love that. Anyways, back to the interior. Okay, so tan interior, wood trim. Wood trim is obviously cracking pretty decently in quite a few spots. That button, your mirror actuation button, that thing was popped out whenever I got the car. And I've actually taken this door card off multiple times because this window specifically has been a problem, as those who drive these cars may know. It fell off its track, was like that whenever I got the car. I pulled out the door card. The arm that was in here was literally bent. Like, you have 2 scissor arms, right? They go out like that, and they, you know, splay out and in. The one that's on the right side here looked like it had been like a finger that was curled up and in and bent into itself. It was insane. I had to take a pair of HVAC metal bending pliers and get that thing back out. But ooh, look at that sexy third pedal. Oh my goodness. Okay, so back to interior. So the oh goodness gracious, the door tension arm, door lever, whatever. At some point, I imagine somebody just gave this door a hell of a lot of force, and this bolt right here is starting to pull a little bit. Let me see if I can get a picture of that. Better view. And the other one below it has like sunken in there, right? So door still opens, closes just fine. Handle works just fine. Handle sticks a little bit. but you know, it's a little weird whenever it gets to the outside, and I think that's what messed up the window in the first place, was that thing getting toasted out, and something on the inside is catching the window as it comes down, and then that just toasted out the arm. So the windows come back off its track at this point. I'm not that worried about it. The passenger side window works, and the sunroof works. So that's, you know, that's huge. But so here on the inside, you know, we've got your gauge cluster, got your headlights. Gauge cluster works fully. I was out testing that a little bit last night. Gas gauge seems to work pretty well. It's a little bit inaccurate whenever it comes to the onboard computer. The like range deal is kind of not exactly right. It was going up in miles as we were going, you know, further. But it is cool. It's kind of novelty. I really just like it as that. To be honest, it's a cool thing. We've got all your analog heat controls, so all that works just fine. Again, another thing for people who do like these cars, know these cars, the cabin air filter can become a pretty big problem from something that I've been recommended a lot, was to change that. So cabin air filter's been changed in this car. The blower motor resistor down there has not been changed out yet. However, I don't plan on doing it for the time being. All of my blower speeds and everything work. I really cleaned out that cavity where the resistor and air filter sit. So hopefully, you know, no worries in that department, people who know what I mean. Let's see here. Okay, so we'll go back to a little bit of the more cosmetic things, you know. So the dashes on these tend to be really, really stout, but obviously this one sat in the sun for a very long time, and it's got quite a bit of sun damage. You can see a little bit of cracking forming there. There's another spot where there's some cracking happening, and to be honest, I don't really remember where, but it's not that bad. Like, at the end of the day, not awful. I plan on putting a black dash mat over this anyways to just kind of preserve it over time and, you know, keep the interior of the car a little bit nicer. But you've got your air vent here. It's popping a little bit on this backside. I don't really know if there's any way for me to get that to go back down. If there is, awesome. If not, again, not super worried about it. This is where the Sirius XM radio used to be. It's gross. I need to take that off. Oh god. Okay. Throw that outside. Airbag cover is obviously missing. I am either gonna buy a new one for that, or I'll probably just buy a new one for that. That would be a bad thing to put some sort of like aftermarket my own deal on, because, you know, airbag goes off and smacks somebody in the face with something hard and heavy. Another missing panel in the sunroof, but the sunroof functions. That is huge. Okay, so back down here to our shifting column. So yes, I do have an aftermarket shifter on here, and no, it does not have any play because it took me an unreasonable amount of time to get it to not do that, and I do enjoy how it looks. It's also got this little, it unscrews on the top. So I suppose, like, if you wanted to add more weight to it or something, you can. It's pretty stout by itself. I enjoy it, and I like the little compartment, little secret compartment. Cool shit. Yes, my center here is made out of a piece of wood that looks janky and goofy as all hell. But anybody who does their own whatever detailing work, and you know, people who fabricate anything, whether that's through wood, metal, what have you, I hope you can see the vision with this, because this is my eventual plan with as much of the interior panels and such in here that I can, is to personally carve, stain, and you know, make my own wood trim inserts for a lot of this stuff. And this one, I mean, it fits good, you know, like it sits down in there, you press them in, and she's there. So now, anybody who sees this video, God, I mean, if anybody does, again, it's going on YouTube, and I'm a brand new creator, so who's to say who will see this? But anybody who may see this and knows anything about these cars, this connector right here and this connector right here were both unplugged when I got the car, sitting here just as they are. Now, in my mind, they are for the automatic transmission. Like, you know, something with your neutral switch and that shit, or the communication between it and the computer. Like, that just makes sense to me. Hasn't had any hindrance on the running and driving of the car, so, like, It's not anything I'm worried about. It's just that they're there, and like I found a few different connectors in this car that just aren't connected to things. Granted, these cars came with different packages that had electronics that are not in here. So for instance, I believe Canadian spec of these cars, or maybe not even Canadian spec, but certain specs of these cars have headlight washers and headlight wipers, right? So there's no relay in my front engine bay for that. I don't have the sprayers along the front side. And so like I imagine some of the connectors that I found, which is not like a whole lot, it's not a concerning amount, and all the ones that I have found that aren't connected to anything don't have somewhere that they connect to, you know, like that's near them. Like there's not a female to the male connection that's anywhere near the connections that I'm finding that aren't connected to something. I know that's a long walk for a short drink of water, but bear with me. Okay, moving on. Glove box gone. It's actually in the back of the car in the boot, but I don't feel like having to mess with the broken handle right now. I will eventually get to fixing that and getting it up in here, and then we'll have a glove box that functions, but for now is what it is. Something kind of cool, and something I really appreciate the old owner for, is actually keeping track of a lot of the old stuff in this car. And at some point I may show through some of the manual and whatnot and give you an idea of like just exactly how kind of upkept some of the stuff was. Like, yeah, it's a rough car, but I mean, the fact that some of the things that were in this car are still in this car is a pretty huge testament to somebody giving a shit, you know? So, one of those things being the OG flashlight, dude. The OG flashlight that came with this car. Now, do I know if it works? No. Are we gonna try? Yes. I think... Oh, I've got to plug it in the other way. I doubt it works, but it plugs in. That's cool. Okay. Again, just a little novelty thing. All right, so that's mostly front seat. The actual seat itself, as you can see, armrest, a little messed up. There's an extra one in the back of in the trunk. I don't know if it really is the right one or not. That's my cards going everywhere. Okay. Don't be a goose there, Evan. Yeah, the door card over there actually looks really good. The trim is cracking, as you can see, but comparative to my driver's side door, I mean, like, we're talking kind of a night and day difference. Like, this one's got, you know, upholstery and shit peeling. And then, as far as the driver's seat goes, well, God, somebody just blew that hoe out with their entire ass. My goodness. My word. Back of the seat looks decent still, so that's cool. But honestly, I'm going to keep the seat cover on for now. I plan on getting different ones that I like more, but okay, onto the back seat a little bit. Now, I am not opening the battery compartment right now. It was a pain in the ass to get this seat back in to its correct place and into the little notches that right along the front side here, but there's not a whole lot of important items in there anyways, so, well, at least not important for, you know, show and tell purposes, we'll say. But yeah, pretty standard back seat. Again, door card on the driver's side, pretty rough. Pretty rough. And then door card on the passenger side. The guy who owned this thing, I think that the top parts of these door cards ripped off or just got really nasty at some point, and so he took some from a different car, but they just cut it off and taped it here, so it looks dumb as all hell. I'm gonna take the time and effort eventually to hopefully make all of this something that's a little bit nicer to look at, but I know I'm not really displaying exactly how bad that is, but yeah, so cigarette tray is cool though. Just down at the bottom, it's pulling all the way out, all the way on there. It's a bit sad. Hole in the seat, bit sad. Cover it with a blanket for now. Done and gone, son. Again, you know, can't really be, I can't be at all upset. For said and done, running, driving, 30-year-old BMW, $800. I mean, there's just nothing to be upset about. There really isn't. I have no complaints about this car. You know, the transmission seems to have, you know, I'm not the most well-versed in diagnosing problems whenever it comes to transmissions and such, but from what I can tell so far, it seems as though that is a that there is a, goodness gracious, that's not gonna work. Anyways, from what I can tell, it seems like the positioning fork, probably in tandem with the throwout bearing, have a little bit of rattle to them. Like, it sounds like the positioning fork is kind of like rattling on the throwout bearing almost. And it only happens whenever I'm stationary and after I've been driving for a little while. So like I'll stop, put it in neutral, and then it'll take my foot off the clutch and it'll kind of rattle a little bit like that. But once you push the clutch in and once you're in gear and you're driving, there's no noise whatsoever. No rattle. Sounds beautiful. I mean, sounds quite nice. I will eventually be putting some driving clips / night driving on here, and well, I hope you guys enjoy that. But yeah, man, so that's it's a pretty basic rundown. I know this is probably like gonna be 10, maybe 15 minute, maybe a little bit longer video, depending on how much of this I edit out. But she's a fucking beast. She's an absolute beast. I couldn't ask for anything cooler, you know. Like, I feel very fortunate, very, very lucky to be able to have found something like this for the price that I did, and be able to have gotten it running for I mean, the guy thought it was gonna be a fuel pump. Anybody who knows, like, that's at least a $250 fuel pump. Granted, if you go to Rock Auto, you can buy it like directly from wholesale, whatever, for like, I think it was $170. But then after shipping and tax, you know, you're still looking at like 210 or something. And God, do not go to Napa or O'Reilly if you need to get a new fuel pump. Please, 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 if you need one immediately, go to AutoZone. But otherwise, go to Rock Auto, get yourself a Delphi fuel pump off of Rock Auto. It will cost you significantly less. Have the patience, wait for it. Honestly, like, my recommendation is Rock Auto. Goodness gracious, how it's Spaceman, FCP Euro, Rock Auto, FCP Euro. Those are two great places I've been getting a lot from so far, or a lot of information, and, you know, kind of like informing myself of the parts of the car that exist in here, how systems work. Yeah, two very great resources right there. But I mean, I don't really know much else I want to go into right now. This is kind of just supposed to be like a opening to my channel, I suppose, which is very janky, but again, it's my very first video, so we're kind of learning things, ironing out the kinks, if you will. But I really hope that if whoever may see this, I hope you enjoy. I really do. You know, it's not the most entertaining video in the world, but it's a beautiful car, and I just really want to share it. And I know there's other people out there that will appreciate it for what I appreciate it for. So, yeah, thanks for watching if you do, and I hope you have a great day. Stay safe out there.